Hello everybody, today I have some cool new Tru-Tone Candleglow bulbs to share with all of you here today. These were sent over from the wonderful people at Tru-Tone for all of us to take a look at. So this is going to be fun. But these have a little bit of a trick up their sleeve. They're not traditional glass. No, these have two fun things going for them. These are twinkle bulbs, but they have the new DuraBulb technology. So these are actually a very high quality plastic that they've done in such a way that it would look as much like glass as possible. And it does look like that. I mean, we've seen some not so good, imitations of plasticky glass, Christmas bulbs in the past. But here, it's got a very nice shine to it. I think they did a good job. We'll have to turn them on here in a second. We most certainly will. So, these are their new Twinkle Light DuraBulbs. These are in the C9 size. They're Candleglow style, so just a traditional warm, clear bulb. Now, these aren't out just yet. As of publishing this video, these aren't available. So, if you go to their website, you can sign up for a notification email for when they are available. But if you're watching this many months into the future, which I'm sure many people are, I'm sure they're available by now. So go ahead and check them out. So these are really cool. They've sent them here in this little demonstration string that we're going to use to take a look at them here today with. But I also wanted to show the package that I believe these normally would have come with, which is what these jewel tone bulbs are in. A very nice cardboard display here, like traditional bulbs would have come in back in the day. So some very nice attention to detail packaging here. Love that. So, these are really cool for two reasons. Like I've already said, these are their new twinkle bulbs. I think this is their first twinkle bulbs they've had. And it also has their DuraBulb technology. So this has two really cool things going for it. Now, the glass versions that they've made for years aren't going anywhere. They're staying around. They just want to offer a new option for people that might want a more durable bulb than just the glass ones. So they'll still have both options. With that being said, let's go ahead and plug this in. We'll take a look at them, and then we'll compare them to incandescent twinkle bulb counterparts. Okay, let me turn off the lights, and we'll turn these on. Here we go. Look at that. They start right off blinking. That is cool. Now, a traditional incandescent would take a little bit to warm up before the bimetallic switch inside starts blinking, but it is nice that these get right to it. And the color these are giving off is most certainly an incandescent color, and they're not super bright either. They're easy to look at, so they're not really harsh on your eyes, which a lot of LED bulbs are. But these have always been known for their high quality, these Tru-Tone bulbs. The other thing that I kind of miss that the LEDs just don't have is the tinging or the pinging of the bimetallic switch as it connects and disconnects to turn the bulb on and off. In a really quiet room, you can hear those bimetallic switches just pinging. It's a really cool experience. I know that would be really hard to put a little noisemaker in these things to get that experience. And I mean, most of the time it's not quiet enough to hear it anyway. But that is a fun thing to experience. So let me turn the lights back on here, just so we have a little bit of what it looks like with the lights on. Some preheat action here. Of course we have to. Yeah, those look great. Love their little V-shaped filaments, mimicking a traditional zigzag-looking incandescent. Okay, let's go ahead and compare these to some incandescent ones. So I'm going to mix them in here. Now, I unfortunately don't have any C9 clear twinkle bulbs, but I do have a C7 here, so I have a little adapter for that. And then I was able to find some coated ones here that are translucent, but they're incandescent, and we're just going to compare the blinking of the LEDs to those. So let's turn them on here, and right away, obviously, the LEDs are off to their blinking, but the incandescents are going to take a second here to warm up their bimetallic switches, and then they will start blinking. Now, another thing with the incandescent ones is that sometimes they need a little assistance to start blinking. I've had some where they get a little stuck, so you got to give them a little tap or something, and they get going again. Ooh, okay, those two are off, and now we're just waiting for the blue one here. Another nice thing about their DuraBulbs, if you were to get them in like the jewel tone here or something, is that the color's not going to flake off like what's happening on the blue one here. It's happening on the red one too. Once this blue one starts blinking, we'll turn the lights off and get a little bit of a blinking show. There we go. Beautiful. Now, I will say that the C7 one here is a little bright. The ones that I have are pretty bright, so it's kind of harsh actually. But our point here is that the blinking of the Tru-Tone bulbs is randomized. It's not just an on-off with like the ticks of the clock. It is more random, which is how a flasher bulb is. So, I mean, if I were to cover these up with like a piece of paper or something and ask, what ones are the LEDs, I don't know if people would be able to tell. I don't really have something to do that, and you already know what is what. But these most certainly do a really good job at mimicking traditional incandescent twinkle bulbs. Oh, they're really fun to watch. That is so cool. Another thing to mention with these two is that there's basically no flicker. I don't see any flicker. If you ever go into a room and it has a really cheap LED light in it, and you just wave your hand back and forth, you kind of get a shutter effect, like the camera here at 30 frames per second. And you can tell it's a really cheap bulb because it kind of shudders in front of you there. And doing it in front of these, I don't get that effect. So that's really nice too. We don't have that 60 hertz flicker. I'm not sure how well this is going to turn out, but we're definitely going to try getting a reading here with our meter. So let's go ahead and do it. Okay, so after waiting here for a really long minute, I ended up bunching all these together to hold them over the sensor. But we actually got something, so let's take a look. Spectrum of the clear Tru-Tone bulb. CRI of the clear Tru-Tone bulb. And the white balance of the clear Tru-Tone bulb. And here is the spectrum of a clear incandescent, CRI of a clear incandescent, and the white balance of a clear incandescent. I really do hope you enjoyed this video taking a look at these new Tru-Tone Candleglow Twinkle Light DuraBulbs. I'm sure these will also be out in colored versions as well, but here we have a nice clear version to take a look at. So this is really cool. I love that somebody's come up with some really nice random twinkling filament LED bulbs for Christmas, because a lot of them just flash on and off, but it's got a pattern. This is a bit more randomized, and that's what a traditional twinkle bulb is all about. So these are really cool. Like I said, these aren't out just yet, but in the future they most certainly will be, so take a look on their website for up-to-date details. But these have been really fun to take a look at. Definitely seek some out. These are going to be really cool to have mixed in with other bulbs as well for Christmas. As always, I do hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, be sure to give it a like down below and leave a comment. I do enjoy reading all of your comments. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more great videos like this one. Also check out my secondary channel Merkove and subscribe over there for more behind the scenes and alternative content. Of course, check out the other videos here on this screen, and as always, thank you very much for watching.